ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Good to see you. Welcome to Tell the Truth, and to you too. Our first guest is a very, very young girl, but through very quick thinking and some very skillful application of some basic things that she had learned, she managed to save the life of a young man. We'll meet the young man who was saved, and we'll meet his rescuer after we've met our panel here on To Tell the Truth.
Nipsey Russell. Kitty Carlisle. Bill Collins. And Peggy Cass.
Panel.
Yes.
You all can get settled down. I'm going to get up in a second because I want you to meet a young man who owes his life to our first guest. And I would like you to say hello to a young fellow with the unusual name of Bowden Cornuta. Very nice young man. Hey, Bowden, we'll find out the nature of your accident a little later on, but what was the most extraordinary thing about it from your viewpoint?
Well, the most extraordinary thing about it was that a 10-year-old girl, in the presence of 5 adults, was able to save my life.
So in other words, a little girl did it, and the 5 adults didn't know how to get started?
They stood helpless or in panic or whatever, but she kept her cool,
and here you are.
And here I am.
Well, in the circumstances, we're extraordinarily glad to see you. You're going to go backstage now and watch her on the monitor, and then you're going to come pick her out for us, right?
Fair enough.
Thank you, Bowden, very much.
Thank you.
Take care. And this is a good story, I'll tell you right now. Let's meet a girl who saved Bowden's life.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Joanne Johnston.
Number 2.
My name is Joanne Johnston.
Number 3.
My name is Joanne Johnston.
I could eat any one of them with a spoon. Boy, they're cute. All right, only 2 of them, however, 2 of them are lying. And one of them is telling the truth. One of them is the real Joanne Johnston, and let's listen to her story. Says here, I, Joanne Johnston, saved Bowden Cornuta's life. One day, Bowden, whom you just met, was cleaning and draining his family swimming pool. Not knowing that the pool pump was improperly grounded, he touched a live wire and received a strong electric shock. He was knocked into the water, unconscious. Immediately, a neighbor phoned for an ambulance and summoned friends. Still unconscious, Bowden was carried from the water. I was next door, and I joined 5 adults at poolside. Unbelievably, none of them seemed to know what to do. So I went into action. After removing the blood and the algae from Bowden's mouth, I began administering artificial respiration. At first, I was scared it was too late. But when Bowden started to breathe, I felt terrific. Shortly, he was rushed to the hospital. You can imagine how I felt when I learned that if I had not acted in time, Bowden Cornuta would have suffered permanent brain damage or almost certainly have died. Signed, Joanne Johnston. And we'll be back to tackle these 3 sweeties in just a minute after we hear from our sponsors. Here we go.
Whoa, now that's a smooth shave. You might think these guys had to pay top dollar for a shave that smooth. But they just use Harry's. With 5 blades that stay sharp, shave after shave, a lubricating strip with aloe, a flex hinge, and a trimmer blade, it's hard to believe refills start at just $2, half of what the other guys charge. Shaving with Harry's isn't pricey. It's just very, very, very smooth. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/smooth.
Anyone has told you that gaining weight, feeling tired, and joint issues is just a part of getting older, they are wrong. My name is Dr. Stephen Gundry, and I found a new way to support my health. It's called BioComplete 3. BioComplete 3 works by restoring your gut health from the inside out. This is working for everybody.
I was 270. I'm now 140. It just feels amazing.
You can try BioComplete 3 risk-free for 90 days. Go to guthealthsecret.com.
Now, it's hard to believe that across the way we have three delightful girls, two of whom are not telling the truth when they claim to be Joanne Johnston. Now, Joanne, as you will recall, saved the life of a young man by applying artificial respiration after he had suffered a violent electrical shock. Let's start the questioning, please, with Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you. Darling Joanne Johnston, whoever you are, you deserve a star-studded medal. Number 3, where did you learn how to do this kind of artificial respiration?
I take swimming lessons, and I learned it there.
And number 2, can you give us a little, not a demonstration, but on what side do you turn the victim when you're giving artificial respiration?
You turn him on his back.
And then you breathe mouth to mouth?
Yes.
And number 1, why was there algae in his mouth?
Well, see, he was cleaning the swimming pool, and it was dirty, and there was, the leaves and things in his mouth.
I see. And number 3, what did the adults do when you started?
Well, one started pushing on his chest to help me, and the others called for the ambulance and got a blanket.
And number 2, how long did it take before he started to breathe?
Approximately 2.5 minutes.
Wow. Oh, that's fantastic. Number 1, what...
Thank you, Kitty, and let's go to Bill Cullen, please.
Hey, Joanne, number 1, I'm curious to know, when you arrived there, you say the adults were doing nothing at all?
Well, none of them knew what to do, and so I came along, and they didn't want me to do it because they thought I was just a little kid and didn't know anything. But then I started anyway.
And how many? There were 5 adults there. How many of them were men, and how many of them were women? Number 3.
2 of them were men, and 3 of them were women.
I'll stay with you, number 2, as long as we're on the subject. What were their ages? Were they?
They were old. They were
old, like.
Yeah.
Okay. We established old. Now, number 3, how old is old? Would you say these old people were?
Well, I don't know. 50 something.
Oh, that's old. That's old. Yeah, 50 is. Yeah. Whoops, there he goes. A little bit. Oh, right up.
Let's all laugh at David Timmy standing around with a bunch of kids. 50.
50. Yeah. Thank you.
I have a buzzer, and we go on, please, to little senility setting in here. What is your name? I forgot.
Mary Margaret Cass.
Mary Margaret Cass, yes, if you'll take over.
Thank you. Number 3, how did you happen to, come along? Was the swimming pool in his backyard, number 3?
Yes.
And how come you happened to just be walking by at that time?
Well, I was visiting next door.
Uh-huh. And number 3, what were the 5 adults doing there? Had they all been in swimming, or were they just watching him clean the pool?
Well, they weren't there. They were next door in that.
Well, then, if nobody was there when he fell in the pool, who saw him fall in?
Well, one of the neighbors heard him go, kind of a faint cry, and came over. Then she screamed, and the other ones came over.
Wow. Now, number 2, who jumped in the water and pulled him out? Because if there was a live wire in that water, couldn't the pool have all been get electrocuted just by going in the water?
Well, one of the men jumped in and dragged him out.
Number 1, where did this happen?
Oh, I'm sorry, Peg. We're going down to Nipsey Russell, please.
Yeah, I'll continue Peggy's line of questioning. Number 3, water conducts electricity. How is it that you weren't shocked when you went to get him?
Well, they had taken the plug out,
I see. Number 1, how many counts do you give when you're doing artificial respiration for the pressure in and the pressure to release?
You mean how many breaths?
Well, yeah. No, how many counts in the artificial respiration?
Well, you give, I'd say, 10.
I see. Number 2, are you a member of a Girl Scout or the Brownies or anything of that sort?
No.
Still with number 2, where did you learn to do this?
They teach it at my school.
Still sticking with number 2, do you do mouth-to-mouth breathing or do you do the body pressure type of?
Mouth-to-mouth.
I see. And I go to number 3 now. Who cut the electric wire so that it was no longer a circuit engaged?
Mr. Rogers, a neighbor.
I see.
All righty, there we go. We got ourselves a little bell. And young ladies, when you hear that, that means that the questions are all over. The questions now go over to our panel. Time for them to question their minds as to whether it's a number 1 or a number 2 or a number 3. We pay $50 for each wrong vote. We pay $500 to the group in case nobody can find the right young heroine. And Kitty starts, please.
Well, I voted for number 3 because I think they do teach it with swimming lessons. And she knew the name of the neighbor, and she said they pulled the plug on the equipment, and I think that's probably exactly what happened.
All right, let's go to Bill Cullen then.
It certainly made sense to me because when I was a boy, I knew a Mr. Rogers in our neighborhood, and he went around pulling the plug every time. We just barely got our electricity, and old man Rogers came in and pulled the plug. But I think it was 3.
Well, he's such a hero. He's got his own television show now called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Stole my reason.
Sure. Yeah. What'd you say, Peggy? I'm sorry.
You stole my reason. I thought number 3 said Mr. Rogers because she looks at Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It just came to mind.
Sorry.
But not... Number 2, I think you look as though you could do, but number 1. But number 2, look at her hair. You could go in swimming and just comb that into place, and it would look swell. So, on account of the haircut, I voted for 2.
So we got a 2 and we got a 3. We got Nipsey Russell coming out.
Well, I think it takes a sort of an aggressive personality for a child to assert himself in the presence of grown-ups, and number 1 seemed to have that self-assurance.
All right. Everybody has registered a vote. So it's time now for Bowden Cornuta, the rescue gentleman, to come on out here and rescue us from our dilemma and show us which one is the real Joanne, the little girl to whom he owes his life. Possibly 1? No, he says not 1. It's number 3. That's great. Why don't the 2 of you share a seat over there? That little tiny thing to do such a marvelous thing. Let's find out who her friends are. Number 1, what is your name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Angela Janklow, and I go to the Dalton School on 89th Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. And number 2, do you want to tell us about you?
My name is Hannah Brophy. I'm in the 7th grade, and I attend Englewood Middle School in Englewood, New Jersey.
Englewood, New Jersey. Well, Bowden and Joanne, I don't know that there's much more that we can say. Just looking at the 2 of you together is a joy. And thank you so much for being with us, and thank you, young ladies, too, on behalf of the Tell the Truth. It is a well-known saying that an army travels on its stomach, but we have coming up on our show a man who says that an army travels on its 6 little legs, waving its antennae in the air. And it's army ants that we're talking about. And how would you like 1 million or so of them to come to your picnic? Lots to learn about this. We'll be right back.
Growing up, I had a serious issue with my relationship with food, so I joined Weight Watchers. Never looked back. I've lost 70 pounds, and I learned to embrace every version of myself along the way.
Join American Cruise Lines on an extraordinary journey along the Columbia and Snake Rivers. Follow the legendary route of Lewis and Clark and experience award-winning shore excursions to the most amazing destinations, including Mount St. Helens, Multnomah Falls, and the Columbia River Gorge. Aboard America's newest fleet of modern riverboats, enjoy spacious accommodations where magnificent views await you from your private balcony. Our gracious onboard staff ensures that your voyage will be unforgettable. Begin your journey today with the leader in U.S. river cruising. Visit AmericanCruiseLines.com or call for a free cruise guide. Small ship cruising, done perfectly.
You will never smell better everywhere like you will with Lumi. It's so easy to use. Just a pea-sized amount like this rubs in like a lotion, controls odor for 3 days on pits, feet, privates, anywhere you have odor but wish you didn't. Now, before you say, isn't that what soap and water is for? I'm here to tell you that your shower doesn't work as well as you think it does. And Lumi is clinically proven to work better than a shower with soap. Give Lumi a try and see what happens, because your body has never been so odor-free as it will be with Lumi. It's one less thing to worry about.
Back to school is back.
This is exciting. What would you wear to go skinny dipping?
Eric,
nothing. Nothing at all.
So, put away your lemonade and get some financial aid.
2,000.
It's a week of students who are not afraid of a pop quiz.
Christopher Columbus.
You got it.
You got the bank.
BUZZR's Back to School Week is back. Starts August 12th on BUZZR. Let's play.
I'm a Kappa Delta.
And I fly Delta most often.
Now let's meet the man with the army ants.
Number 1. What is your name, please?
My name is Howard Topoff.
My name is
Number
Howard
2.
Topoff.
And number 3.
My name is Howard Topoff.
And here is the insect information of Howard Topoff. He says, I, Howard Topoff, am an observer of the antics of the army ants. These little red insects have been called the Huns and Tartars of the insect world. In search of the 8 quarts of food that a carnivorous colony of army ants consumes per day, an ant army can really cover ground. In a single evening, a colony of 1 million or so army ants can cover a distance equal to the length of 3 football fields. At the end of the march, the army makes camp. This is a small portion of the living nest they form by interlocking their bodies. Army ants illustrate the old saying that the woman is the deadlier of the species. All of these stinging, biting soldiers are females. The leader of this Amazon army is the queen, and she is 3 times as large as the others. And right before she lays her 100,000 eggs, the queen looks like this because her abdomen doubles in size. I have recently prepared an army ant exhibit for New York's Natural History Museum. Since most army ants are a tropical species, I had to journey to Panama to collect them. And how do you capture army ants? Well, you do just as I did. You suck them up with an ordinary household vacuum cleaner. Signed, Dr. Howard Topoff. And I think this time we'll take the 3 doctors and hand them over to Bill Cullen and see what you can do.
Yeah, Dr. Topoff, it says a colony consumes, number 1, a colony consumes 8 quarts of food per day. Now, is that 1 million ants, approximately 1 million ants consuming that much?
Right, about 1 million ants would do that.
Well, now, number 3, we hear stories about the soldier ants finding people in the jungles or wherever they are and completely devouring entire cows or people like that. Is that possible, or is that exaggerated?
It's a little exaggerated. They could probably kill a cow or a person, but I don't think they could eat it.
Number 2, you mentioned that the warriors are females, the queen naturally is a female. What happened to all the males in this ant tribe?
They die about 2 days after birth and fertilization of the female.
You mean they're born and within 2 days they fertilize a female and then die?
That's correct.
Well, I guess if you have to have a short life, that's what the heck. Far be it from me to...
That's silly.
Huh?
That's silly.
That might be silly, but it's a great way to go. Number 1, are they...
Are this number
Why are you
1?
thinking
Well,
about
we'll
the
never
way to
know
go?
are this. We're going to go to Peggy.
Number 1, was it difficult to get them through customs?
Oh, no, we were on a research grant, so there was prior clearance to
How
that.
did you bring them up, in suitcases?
Actually, in bags, kind of canvas bags.
Thank you. Now, number 2, if you feed them 8 quarts of food a day, what kind of food?
Well,
Don't say ant food.
no, here in New York we're feeding them crickets and worms, but their
Oh.
natural food is other ants.
Other ants of their own kind?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, well, number 3, did you lose many ants in the vacuuming them up process?
We lose several thousand, but when we're going after about 1 million,
Not bad.
not bad.
Well, now, number 3, when you took your little vacuum out to the jungle, did you bring a little generator so that you could run the vacuum?
We brought a big generator.
You need a big generator for a vacuum?
It was a regular household vacuum cleaner. We
And
did
you need a big generator for that?
a big generator for a big vacuum
Did
cleaner.
any Indians come around and take a look at you? They must have thought you were nuts.
It was an odd sight.
Yes. Now, number 2, if the queen ant has 100,000 eggs, how many hatch?
How many hatch?
Yeah.
About 50,000 per day.
Thank you. Now, number 1, I wonder if a queen has ordinary children.
50,000. I bet she doesn't get 1 card on Mother's Day. That's the way it is with kids, you know. All right. I'll give and no take. I'll take and no give. Nipsey?
Number 1, is it known by what communication process they delegate jobs in their...
Yeah, they have 2 antennae, and they make contact with their antennae.
Number 2, you said they were cannibalistic in nature. What becomes of these dead, the men who expire after a 2-day life period?
Well, they're not men, they're females.
Yes. No, I mean the males of the species who you say can impregnate the female and then die after a period of a couple of days.
Well, the colony moves generally every day, and the dead males are left behind after they've dead.
Number 3, what's the gestation period?
I'm sorry, we're going to finish up with Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you. Number 3, how many males are born to each queen?
About 1,500.
That's not a good proportion, is it?
Much fewer than females.
Yeah. Number 1, do they have any way of communicating where they have found something marvelous to eat?
Yeah, absolutely. They have a secretion that they let out, and the other ants automatically will follow that secretion.
I see. Number 2, I think it was you who said, no, here it says she lays 100,000 eggs. How many ants form one unit, let's say?
Well, the colony consists of about 1 million ants. It can go up to 20 million. The one we have here is 1 million.
I see. Number 3, what color are they? Are they red?
They're sort of red-brown.
Are they
color.
called red soldier ants?
By some people, yes.
Number 1, how would they kill you if they can't eat you?
By a sting. They have a venom.
Oh, and how many would it take to kill you?
Well, it depends on how you react to it. You know, some people will react from 1, and others it might take about 30 or 40.
Number 2, you really believe that one sting could kill you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Kitty. When the bell rings, the rules say we got to stop asking questions. We have to form an opinion and mark it down in the form of a 1 or a 2 or a 3.
When surprise breakdowns happen, American Home Shield will be there to fix or replace parts of the systems and appliances you rely on every day. They help protect your time and money by connecting you with qualified pros and helping pay for covered repairs or replacements. AHS offers flexible and affordable plans for every home. Sign up today and get $100 off with code AHS100. Visit AHS.com or call 833-PLAN-AHS.
We need some help.
I know. I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. And if approved, we can have the money in our account as soon as the same business day.
Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need.
Does a physical or mental health condition keep you from working? Do you need help applying for disability benefits? Or have you already been denied disability? Call Disability Help today. Get the Social Security disability benefits you deserve. Get connected with disability representatives nationwide without leaving your home. Social Security disability cases are time sensitive. Don't wait and call the number on your screen now.
Are you or someone you love struggling with an addiction to drugs or alcohol and want to be set free from the chains of addiction? Then call Addiction Helpline America right now to get the help you need. From drug and alcohol addiction to dual diagnosis treatment, we provide a confidential helpline to help people like you get sober and live happy, substance-free lives. With one call, you can be on the phone with addiction specialists across the country who will guide you on the next steps to find the freedom and healing you desperately need.
Something, and I'd like to know what it is and why.
Well, all the answers were good. Well, I mean, what we know about ants is you can put an anthill, I suppose. But I don't know, I enjoy the picture of number 2, or for that matter, any of them, standing there in the middle of the Amazon jungle operating a vacuum cleaner. I gotta send those poor Indians crazy. I voted for number 2. I like that.
All righty, we got a 2 show, and then we're going to go with Peggy.
Oh, I just really feel sure in my bones that it's number 3.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can see him out there vacuuming and not really paying a bit of attention to the onlookers. 3.
So you got a 2 and a 3, and Nipsey Russell coming.
Well, being totally ignorant on the subject, number 1 seemed to have 2 convincing answers to me. One, that they communicate through their antennae, and number 2, that they killed by a secretion which they emanate.
Okay, I don't think that's what he said. What he said was that they leave a trail of secretion behind them by which they will follow each other. However, that's the way the vote went. So the votes are all in.
But my ignorance remains intact.
Oh, Kitty, that's right. Yes, you haven't voted.
Oh, me? Well, I voted for number 3 with a big vacuum cleaner.
Pair of 3s and 1 apiece for 1 and 2. And so at this time, will the real Dr. Howard Topoff please stand up?
K. Cock.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Topoff. If you'll be seated, we'll find out about your friends. Number one, sir, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name's Ron Beatis, and I'm president of Joy Products. We're mail-order dealers in political buttons and Americana.
Ah, good enough. Number two, sir, tell us about you.
My name is Neil Frank, and I'm a public relations executive here in New York City.
Good. Dr. Topoff, number one, said that one ant could kill you. Then he said, well, maybe up to 40. What is the bite of this ant, let's say, compared to the sting of a bing? The sting of a bee.
Actually, it's not terribly different. It's probably a little less intense, one ant per one bee. The ant is a little smaller, has a little less venom. But he's certainly correct. If someone is sensitive to it, one ant sting is sufficient to kill.
Uh-huh.
It's certainly...
Okay, well, I'll try to keep out of their way from now on, now that I've learned this. Thank you, Dr. Topoff, and thank you, gentlemen, all, for being with us on To Tell the Truth.
At over $4 a blade, shaving every day gets expensive. Harry's 5-blade razor offers me a close, comfortable shave. Best part, refills are as low as $2 each, half of what I paid before.
Go to harrys.com/shave to claim your $7 trial.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, ride your bike.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, smile big and bright.
Thousands of kids just like me are happy every day.
And it's all because of generous people like you who support Shriners Hospitals for Children every month.
All you have to do is call the number on your screen or go online to loveshriners.org right now with your monthly gift.
Because of people like you, Shriners Hospitals for Children is able to make an everyday miracle happen for kids like me.
If you're happy and you know it, dance around. If you're happy and you know it, play a song.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, take a shot.
And when you call or go online right now to donate $19 a month or more, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of all the smiles you're bringing to kids' faces every day.
Will today be the day you send your love to the rescue?
When you call the number on your screen right now and give as little as $19 a month, just 63 cents a day, you'll be making a life-changing difference for a child, just like Sarah.
Your monthly gift today could change your life forever.
Because of you.
We are happy and we know it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please call or go online right now to give. If operators are busy, please wait patiently or go to loveshriners.org right away.
You know, on a show like this, you always wonder, and you're kind of sorry at the end of it, that you didn't have more time to talk to the people involved and find out more about the subjects. For instance, they say there are 100,000 ants that come out in one litter.
Yes.
In other words, the queen she gives birth to 100,000 ants. One of those becomes queen.
Mm-hmm.
How do they select the queen? Which
they
one
vote.
is going to be? They vote?
They vote.
I would do that too.
I thought maybe they had, you know, an ant beauty parade or what? An ant queen.
Bill had a great question about ants. What was your question, Bill?
Yeah, what do you call an ant's father?
I don't know, Bill. What do you call an ant's father?
Somebody's grandfather. Oh, I figure out. Thanks a lot, Nipsey. I appreciate it.
At the same time tomorrow, if we're allowed back, we will return.
This is Bill Wendell speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.